All right, Shalom, Akim. First and foremost, and Akwath as well. First and foremost, before I begin this lesson, I want to say, Kala Yahweh Shemel Shai, Ba'Shem Kodash. That honors be to our apostles, elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Hearty salute, Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there who believe on the Lord. All right. This lesson is going to be entitled, Arrows Will Pierce Babylon. All right, now it's going to be a relatively quick lesson. I'm just going to go through these precepts that I got written down right here. And without further ado, let's go ahead. All right, modern day Babylon. To put this disclaimer out there. Modern day Babylon is America. All right, the United States. Because in these scriptures, when it speaks about Babylon, it's not talking about ancient Babylon. Ancient Babylon was not destroyed with fire. Okay, they were taken down by the Persians and the Medes. Okay, and arrows is a biblical term, not literally all the time. I mean, there's times when it's talking about arrows, all right, but when it's talking about it, metaphorically speaking, or I guess you're saying like a symbolic version of it, arrows represents modern day technology known as missiles. All right, nuclear ICBM missiles to be exact. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 17 to 22. And it reads, Behold, I will stir up the Medes. All right, modern day Medes are the Russians. Okay, Russia is one of America's top enemies. I believe it or not, because the Cold War, although they say it ended the Cold War, it really didn't end. All right, the Cold War, basically what a Cold War is conflict between two nations, but there isn't, necessarily physical interactions. All right, there isn't physical, warfare going on between the two, like casualty wise, or at least not that's put out to the public. All right, like maybe like mini skirmishes here and there that are, under the radar. Okay. So lucky for that. Let me turn on Do Not Disturb. Maybe not things under the radar, like little skirmish. But point is, it's not a publicized, conflict. It's just kind of a, we know they got beef, but nobody's fired shots yet, so to speak. So a Cold War really can't end unless they become allies, which they have not. All right, Russia is single-handedly, America's top competitor. All right, along with China. All right, you can't forget about China. Okay, but this is Isaiah 13 and 17. It says, Behold, I will stir up the Medes, which once again is the Russians, against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So they're not going to be bought. They're not going to be bribed. All right, on top of that, we understand that a lot of countries are turning away from the American currency. Okay? But they're not going to give a shit what America has to say is what this is talking about. They're not going to regard silver. They don't care. They're not trying to hear it. All right, because America has had its reign. All right, America has dominated the planet Earth for the appointed time. And now that the appointed time is done, America needs to be taken down. Okay, it says, verse 18, it says, Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Now remember, it tells you in Malachi 4 and 1, they shall leave them neither root nor branch, the day that burneth as an oven. Okay, it says, In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Which, how did the Lord do that? With fire and brimstone. Modern day fire and brimstone that the Lord is going to use is the nuclear missiles. Okay? In fact, this really kind of the point on this, basically it's just going to keep reading on to how, it's just basically describing further how it's going to be completely destroyed and it's going to be inhabited by desert creatures. All right, not to cut the scripture short, definitely read through these yourself, but I'm going to go ahead and hit this next quick point because it said, shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Let me go ahead and get this first. 2 Peter 2, I believe it's the 6th verse. Okay. 2 Peter 2 and 6. And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that after should live ungodly. So, what do we take from this? America, along with the rest of the world, did not get the memo. All right, especially America, Babylon the Great. They did not get the memo. They're not looking back and, although they know about Sodom and Gomorrah, even the American people, especially the government, whatever the people know, the government knows a billion times more, right? Because there's a lot of things that the everyday Joe Schmo don't know that the government does. Okay? But nonetheless, making them an ensample unto those that after should live ungodly, they didn't get it. Because they're still living lawlessly. They're living like beasts. Okay? Because what separates men from animals? Essentially the law, statutes, and commandments, which were only given to Israel. Because all these other nations, they be eating abominable food. They be doing, idolatry, be committing adultery, murder. They be doing all sorts of wickedness and abomination. They have no, morals, no integrity, no, uprightness. They're just there. They're just like beasts. They'll eat whatever the hell walks. Here it is. And we know our people are doing things like the heathen now. Jeremiah 10 and 2 says, learn not the way of the heathen, yet our people have mastered it and even exceed them. Okay? But, you got these other nations, damn translate come, walking by and they'll fucking eat it, putting on a kebab. That's a beast, man. These people are living like beasts. All right, but America didn't get the memo about Sodom and Gomorrah. So it's going to have the same fate, and in fact, even worse. All right, so we mentioned the fire and brimstone. Let me go ahead and jump down to this. Isaiah 54 and 16. Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 16, and it reads, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. The modern day blacksmith is these scientists. Okay? Because what does a blacksmith do? He creates weapons out of metal specifically, right? But these modern day blacksmiths are scientists. They create these different weaponries like the atomic bomb, the nuclear bomb. Okay? The splitting of an atom, right? But it says, they bring forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. Modern day fire and brimstone is those nuclear missiles. ICBM, which stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missiles. These missiles can shoot across the planet, across the globe. Okay? In fact, let me go and get this. 2nd Esdras 16, 12 to 13. And it reads, The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled. So you got to ask yourself, what would cause this? All right, scripture saying in Isaiah, the earth shall shake to and fro like a drunkard. All right, somebody that's like staggering off a strong drink. They've had too much. They can't walk straight. They're stumbling. They got to put their hand on the wall. All right, the earth is going to shake to and fro. All right, and the waves of it are troubled. Continuing on. And the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. So what's going to cause something so catastrophic, such as what we just read? Something extremely powerful, right? For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, which, our brother Kaya in the camp brings it out. Brings it out here in where we're at, that a missile that malfunctioned, if I'm not mistaken, is called a broken arrow. All right, that's the terminology they use for it. But it says, the arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So you can't shoot a literal arrow from state to state, let alone from country to country or continent to continent, right? So you got to ask yourself, what is this talking about? A nuclear missile, okay, which comes out the dang silo and can be in your hometown in like what, 20 minutes, 25 minutes? That's not long at all, bro. And they're accurate. All right, they got hypersonic missiles. I think Russia's got what now? The Satan 2. You see? I really, points kind of already being made. I'm gonna go ahead and get this Jeremiah 50. Might close it with this. Jeremiah 50, 13 to 15, it says, because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited. Talking about the land of Babylon. All right, as you can see. Verse 1, the word that the Lord, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Once again, the modern day Chaldeans, the modern day Babylon. All right, modern day Babylon being America, the Chaldeans being Esau, Edom. All right, the Edomites. Jeremiah 15:13, because of the wrath of Yahweh it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues. All right, which the ultimate plague is these nuclear missiles. Because of course with plagues you got different pestilence and famine and locusts and things like that. But the ultimate plague is those nuclear missiles, which I'm going to get that to close after this. All right, which is that Zechariah 14:12. But it says, and hiss at all her plagues. Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. So everybody that has nuclear capabilities, like it says in Joel 3 and 9 to 10, talks, so I got it written down here, I'm just going to quote it, talks about how the weak shall say, I am strong. All right, because these other nations that may have been looked down upon because they don't have that type of level when it comes to military might, but the nuclear missiles level the playing field. Okay? It's essentially like a hack, It's a cheat code for them. All right, it levels the playing field because, yeah, you can ransack my country and destroy me, with your Air Force and Marines and all this and that. But if I launch this missile, there's nothing you can do to stop it. And it's going to lay your land desolate, flat. Okay? It says, all you that bend the bow, everybody that has missile capabilities, shoot at her, America, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. Revelation 18 talks about how the sins have reached unto heaven. I believe might be like the 6th verse, if I'm not mistaken. No, 4. Might be the 4th verse. It's in Revelation 18. It's lucky. It says, shout against her round about, she hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down. America is vulnerable. It's weak. It's collapsing. All right, in the next chapter, Jeremiah 51, it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she cannot be healed, forsake her. All right, it says, for it is the vengeance of Yahweh. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh. Take vengeance upon her as she had done, do unto her. All right, now I'm going to get to Zechariah 14. It's like Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12, and it reads, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem, which is a people before it's a place. All right, remember, Jerusalem is the Israelites. All right, yes, it is a city, but it represents the people of Jerusalem, the Israelites first. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Our number one enemy is Esau, Edom. All right. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And this is talking about the lake of fire, all right, which is that nuclear destruction, which is going to hit America, which all these different nations in America, especially the 2/3, are going to get caught up in that. All right, 2/3 are spoken about in Zechariah 13 and 8. All right. But, so as you can see, this is the ultimate plague. The arrows are nuclear missiles. All right, in Babylon, when it's talking about these things that we just brought out, it's not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about modern Babylon, which is America. All right, who else? America is the mother of harlots. All right, so this was edifying to elect. I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachaha Kodash. I want to be to our apostles, elders, great millstone of rule, teach well. Shalom.